I never thought I'd do this, but here I am, back on a retail WoW server. I quit playing back in Warlords of Draenor. I haven't raided since Blackrock Foundry. I did play for a couple days in Legion, but once I hit max level, I quit again almost immediately. I had completely written this game off for so many years now, and only watched it from the sidelines. Now, Dragonflight's out, and for the first time in a long time, players are saying good things about it. I got curious, so I figured I'd give it a go, and see how the game is doing. I didn't have any characters of a high enough level to get into the Dragonflight content, so I guess I'll start with the pre-Dragonflight stuff. I decided to start a new character to get a feel for the game again, and to my surprise, leveling felt good. I mean, really good. The combat felt good, the updated graphics look great, the updated UI is much appreciated, and I love the new talent trees. I was skeptical of level scaling at first, and I don't think it's perfect by any means, but not having to trudge through every expansion to get to max level is a drastic improvement in my opinion. It's kind of funny that I can solo some dungeons at level 10. It's not great XP, but it's a mild challenge and entertaining for a few runs. I do like that I get to choose what expansion to level through, as Classic, BC, and Wrath have always been my favorites. It's strange that I can't automatically queue for every expansion's dungeons, and I had to reach certain levels to unlock a lot of them. I thought they were supposed to scale, but whatever, not a big deal. The leveling was fast and rewarding, especially through dungeons, and I'm really glad I did this first. Replaying the old dungeons was very nostalgic. It made me want to log in. My muscle memory had come back at this point, and I'd figured I'd log into my old main and see some of the new content. I loaded into a zone I can't remember, unsure of what I was doing last, as is the custom, and queued for a dungeon. With the level scaling, I could do the old ones. I zoned in, and I died. A lot. I couldn't hold threat, I was doing pitiful damage, and even trash mobs were smacking me for large portions of my health bar. The crazy part is, these are the dungeons that I could solo on a level 10. It took me a while to realize that when they did the level squish, the gear I had became basically useless, so I tried questing to get some gear so I could do dungeons. Small problem though, I was leveling faster than I was getting gear, and the gear I was getting wasn't that great, so the problem only got worse. I did a little bit of the Legion stuff that I hadn't finished to unlock the Nightfallen, and oh my god is this boring. I really hate the direction Blizzard has taken WoW storytelling. I'm the super amazing chosen one that is known and respected by every major character in the universe. Only I can save the world from the coming threat. I knew this was going to happen, but I figured I could power through it. One thing I didn't realize is that nearly every questline devolves down into talk to an NPC, wait for them to dump exposition, wait for them to slowly walk to a spot 20 feet away, and repeat. Then I made the mistake of starting the Battle for Azeroth quests, and immediately lost an inventory spot permanently to this stupid, useless necklace. Seriously, why can't I delete this thing, or my useless artifact weapon? Alright, maybe Shadowlands is better. Oh my god, this is the worst intro questline I've ever experienced. The waiting for exposition dumps only increased. Then, when I finally get into the action, I'm teaming up with all the faction leaders and major lore characters like I'm a member of the Avengers, but I'm the strongest and best among them, and only I can save us all. This was painful to sit through. Once I was done with the intro, I immediately went back to Azeroth, and I don't think I will ever go back here ever again. World of Warcraft's storytelling since around the end of MoP has felt awful. I get that they were going for a more cinematic experience, but I can't skip these cutscenes fast enough. I just don't care about anything going on. I'd rather go kill boars or find Mankrick's wife again. It just doesn't feel like WoW anymore. But it does feel familiar, and I couldn't quite put my finger on why for a while. But then I realized, WoW's storytelling for the past decade feels like all those MMOs that tried to kill WoW back in the day. You know, the ones that came out between 2008 and 2013. That's basically what WoW has become. It makes me feel alienated from this game, and I absolutely hate it. Eventually, I noticed that my heirlooms that I outleveled by nearly 10 levels turned out to be way more powerful than the garbage epics I had, so I dropped most of my gold into upgrading them a bit further to start doing dungeons. It helped a lot, and I was finally able to finish some runs, but I was still getting hit pretty hard. Eventually, I got to level 60, time to start Dragonflight. I gotta admit, at this point my expectations were low. I know players have been saying this expansion is good, but after what I had just gone through, I wasn't sure if it was going to be enough. I started the quest chain, which puts me on a Zeppelin. I know it's inconvenient to wait for, but having the Zeppelin take you to and from the Dragon Isles is nice. It makes it actually feel connected to the world. It was something that I felt was really lacking back in Mop, and I'm glad it's back. I got to the Isles, and to my surprise, it's not this overly cinematic team-up with all the major characters. There are some cinematics, yes, but they are placed far enough apart to not make them feel tedious. The quest structure feels similar to how it did back in Wrath and BC, where you get a bunch of quests from a town and go out and kill and collect everything in sight before returning. And most importantly, there was no garrison, mission table, or artifacts anywhere in sight. I know it doesn't sound great from that explanation, but honestly, it's all I wanted at this point. The story, it's actually decent. It's not hyper-focused on me being the hero, and it's not developing around absurd world-ending events or cliché villains that have been pulling the strings since Warcraft 1, despite them not even existing 6 months ago. The leveling slowed down a bit, but it wasn't terrible. Dragon riding is fun, and I kinda wish this is how flying had always been, to be honest. I hit max level with plenty of quests to spare, and for the first time in a long time, I'm not burned out yet. I still want to log in and do more. I'm already planning out alts I want to level, and setting short-term goals. I'm actually having fun. I haven't gotten into raiding yet, and I'm aware of some of the problems it's facing, but I imagine it's pretty much the same as it's always been, and I'm looking forward to getting into it. So in conclusion, would I recommend Dragonflight to players that have long since quit? Yes. Is it perfect? No. If you loved WoW back in Kata or Mop, Dragonflight will be a good experience for you. The graphics are amazing, for WoW at least. The story is the best it's been since at least Kata. The combat is the same old WoW combat you're used to, though it might be a bit more complicated with the buff and proc juggling. At least it was on the couple of classes I've played so far. The 1 to 60 leveling, while not perfect, can be enjoyable as long as you pretend like the stuff from Warlords to Shadowlands doesn't exist. And the 60 to 70 leveling is well paced and enjoyable. At the end of the day, this is the best WoW has felt in a long time. It still has its problems, but if you're feeling nostalgic for this game, it's worth giving it a try. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and have a nice day.